So we're at sunny Lords with Isha Guha, former England cricketer, now pundit. Thank you very much for joining us, Isha.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to talk a bit about the England's women's game. Obviously, it's taken a big step in the last year, really, with professional contracts. Where do you see it in terms of major sport in England?
I think it's definitely leading the way, certainly in terms of women's sports and team sports. The fact that the girls have gone professional is outstanding. It's a huge step for the women's game and for sports in general. And many of us didn't think it would happen for another 10 years. So the girls are really, really happy, and I'm just glad that they're getting what they deserve finally. So it's going to be interesting to see how they move forward. They've had a bit of a break now. They've got a series coming up against India. And it'll be interesting to see how that's had an impact on their overall game.
And where would you like to see the sport in 5 years in terms of obviously TV coverage and things like that?
More TV coverage. I think it gets decent coverage at the moment. There was global coverage of the ICC World T20 event and the one-day World Cup as well. Sky obviously get behind it whenever England play here in the summer. And they obviously went over to Australia to cover it for the Ashes. So it is there, but I'd love to see all of the games being covered, in 5 years' time.
England have got internationals against India and South Africa this summer. How do you see the team shaping up, and do you think they'll win both series?
I'd like to think England are in a very strong position. India have got a great side. Historically, they haven't played too well away from home. They've got the likes of Mitali Raj, Yulan Goswami, who are pretty much their most experienced players and have a serious amount of quality about them. Some talented spinners. But they've kind of lost their way in the last couple of years, not performing at the global events, and they really do need to come out and prove a point. With England, I think having not won the World T20 over in Bangladesh would have hurt the girls, and they've had a really good period of time now to really just hone their skills, improve on anything that they want to. This is probably the first time in maybe 5 years where they've had such a big break. So it'd be interesting to see how they come back after that break and where they've improved in each of their respective games. I personally feel that if England, perform to their best of their ability, then they'll come out on top.
Before we talk about you commentating on the England men's cricket, did you watch the first test, and what did you think of the performances there?
I did indeed watch the first test. I think the outcome was very much determined by the nature of the pitch, which I think many people will say. It was a bit of a shame that we were probably a bit too hospitable to to the Indians, but I thought the guys really worked hard out there, especially the bowlers. Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, Liam Plunkett, Ben Stokes as well. They all toiled really hard. Obviously, it was the first two with the most experience who picked up many of the wickets. But I think, given the situation, I think they worked their socks off, and they showed a lot of fight as well. That unbelievable partnership between Joe Root and Jimmy Anderson was something to remember, and it just changed the course of the game really, because England were in a really tough situation then after a bit of a collapse. India, on the other hand, they've got a lot of positives from their performance as well. Both teams that are hungry for success after not very good results in recent times. I think both captains did the best they could with the pitch and just the personnel that they had within their side. And certainly a few batsmen that have underperformed, so it'll be interesting to see how they go at Lords. And it is probably something that will play on their mind, because they had a real opportunity to score runs on that pitch.
And now we go on to your commentating this week at Lords. Could you tell us a little bit about that and what it means to you? And you must be extremely proud to be commentating live in India.
Yeah, that's right. I'm working for Star Sports, and it'll be the first time they've ever had a female commentator on any of the Indian Test series. And I'm really looking forward to the opportunity. I'm really excited by the challenge, and the one thing that I know that will help me through is the fact that I've I've obviously been watching a lot of Test cricket for the last few years and over the course of my career. So I'm hoping that my cricket knowledge will get me through, but and also just knowing the guys as well. I've been able to interact with Rahul Dravid and Shoaib Ganguly through the IPL, and I've been able to meet them at various different functions. So I think that relationship is already there, and that's so important when you go into the commentary box, to be able to feel comfortable with who you're speaking with. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and also just to be here at Lords. You know, I grew up training here and I've played a few matches here, so yeah, a wonderful chance.